And then back to Iguodala to the rim. Oh, great block. James out of nowhere, skies to the rim. Oh, Boyd took the advantage and played on from inside the center square. Boyd kicked the goal. Boyd kicked the goal from inside the center. Bang. Here's Aloisi for a place in the World Cup. He's hands right back up. Big head kick. Down goes Thompson. It's over.
Live it, breathe it, love it. All sports, double coverage.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing. So I am Dom with the great man, Sauce. What's happening, bro?
How are you, brother? How are you? How are you feeling? Feeling well?
Always
It's good.
well, mate. Always
Good.
well.
Top of the show, of course. Got to give Dom a big happy birthday. It's his
Thanks,
birthday,
mate.
so get in the comments. Let him know. Let him know. Got something for you later in Hobby Talk. So we'll do a bit of a birthday rip, ladies and gentlemen, for Doma. Rip and ship. My present to him. If he hits anything good, or else we can just chuck the cards into the donation pile to the kids.
We know we're going to end up throwing it in the bin. Like,
Oh, no. They'll be going straight into the double coverage packs. We know that 100% for sure.
like 200%. Anyway, this is all really the only birthday present needed is this bad boy right here. Right there. We're happy. Start the show. Right there. He's out of the Euros, by the way. He's out. So if you want my thoughts on that, I can give them to you because we're going to start with the Euro source. Anyway, how are you before we even get into it?
I'm good. Plugging along, mate. Going well. Back in the flow of things, and excited. Getting excited for my Bombrays. Good win on Friday night. Good bounce
Massive
back.
win.
And we'll see. Maybe there is some hope, Doma, for us to potentially. I can't believe I've been saying this because we're round 18 this week. There's 4 games left in the season, right? 4 games left. 5 games left. Sorry, 5 games left.
No, 6 games left.
6 games left.
North can make the final.
Doesn't it? Wait, there's not 24 rounds. 23 rounds.
Yeah, there is. There's 24.
Oh, is there? Jesus.
3, 6. Oh, no, 7 rounds left.
7 rounds left.
Talk
There you go.
about pushing it.
How many games did they play?
No, there's 28 more points on offer. North could make final source if we win every game.
Well, we have to beat the Swans this week. Big win by North. We'll get to that later in the show. Jeez. You'll be
I'll tell you a funny story about it too. You'll piss yourself when I tell you. So
but yeah, it's been a big week in sports, and obviously let's start with
let's get into the Euros.
The biggest event in town at the moment.
It is the biggest, and not the Copper America. We can talk about that.
Not the Mickey Mouse tournament. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Mickey Mouse Club over there in America. They have an absolute balls up.
The miniature mouse, should we call it?
Yeah, miniature mouse club over there. But the Euros, we're into the final 4. If you want to talk about some of the quarterfinals, you can source. But the final 4 teams on the left side of the draw, it's Spain versus France. That game is tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. And then Thursday morning at 5 a.m. our time, we have England versus the Netherlands. They're the final 4 teams. Now, 2 of those 4 teams, I actually cannot believe they're in the last 4. France, who kicked 1 goal for the whole tournament, and England, who I think have kicked 4 goals for the whole tournament. I'm actually, it's mind-boggling. Anyway, France is winning it from here, Source. I actually want Spain to win it. I know.
Tell us why. Look. Tell us why is France winning it from here, Domo? What's
Mbappe to Madrid? He's never won a Euros. He wins the Euros. He's at Madrid. He's going to win the Champions League next season. He's then going to win the Copa del Rey. He's going to win everything next year. They're going to do the treble. He's going to win the Ballon d'Or. All right. 2025 is Mbappe's year because what's in 2026? The World Cup. And he goes into the World Cup, best player in the world. And that's how they love it. FIFA loves that shit. All the pressure in the world on him, and more than likely, based on the last World Cup, he's going to make the final. He'll win it. He almost won the final, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't watch it, if you're living under a rock and all you worried about was Argentina winning it, if you didn't watch that game, they did such a good job, Argentina, shutting him down in that final. He played 10 minutes. He played 10 minutes. From the 80th minute onwards, go watch it, and he almost won the game on his own foot. That's how good he is. And I'm telling you, the mask is hurting him because I've told you, I played with goggles, and it actually does. It's like horse binders. You can't. It stuffs up your peripherals and stuff like that. I'm playing without him this year myself. I'm not Mbappe spec, clearly, but you can actually see the whole pitch.
Short, don't sell yourself short.
I can tell you what, I'm slow. Who's like the slowest?
You've got the speed of Per Mertesacker.
Oh yeah, bro. I reckon Per Mertesacker's quicker than me. Mate, I'll tell you what, it's like, yeah, it's not great. But yeah, that's my theory. He's going to win it all. And the Oracle says, happy birthday. Thank you very much. Andrew says, we're going to the World Cup. He says, bring Sebastian with us. That's my son. He's going to be he'll be 2 years old. I don't think he's coming with us, mate. I'm not changing shit nappies in the grandstands, mate, at the World Cup. He'll be with mummy.
Yeah, good call. Doma, yeah, look, you're pretty much saying it's going to be scripted for Mbappe to take the mantle, which we've seen has been happening, obviously, with Messi and Ronaldo, twilight of their careers, nearly all said and done. Let's be honest, it is all said and done. One's playing out in the US, one's playing in Saudi Arabia. It's set and done. They need a new golden boy, someone who's going to dominate the game for the next 10 years plus. Mbappe's the man. He's already won a World Cup. He's been phenomenal since the age of 17 coming up. I see where you come from. But if I'm looking at it as a pure football, the eye of my football brain, and I'd say Spain has to win this Euros. Has to be Spain. They've played the best football out of any team.
I agree with you.
They played the best football out of any team. They beat Germany, who I thought was the other team that was playing great football, and got the job done with them. And especially, they got that goal, and they were challenged, and they ended up getting the goal late on to
not
win
for
it.
anything. Should have been the final.
Yeah, should have been the final. But, yeah, look, I think Spain has done enough this tournament to win this game against France and go through the final. I actually see it as a 1-1 draw at full time and it going to extra time and maybe needing penalties to decide it. But I have to go with Spain. Look, as much as the script can be written there.
How many France have actually only scored one goal, haven't they?
One goal from open play or 0 goals?
Yeah, I think it's one goal from open play. The rest are all own goals.
Own goals or penalties?
I hope, Source. I hope. 0-0, penalties, final, 0-0, penalties, France win. They win off one goal off open play. Can you imagine that? That'd be a disgrace. It'd actually be, I'd vomit. I'd actually vomit. I'm already vomiting at the fact that England and France are in the last four. I hope it's Spain win, Source, on that side. And on the other side, I hope the Netherlands can put it together. They've been playing pretty good football. They need to just fix up their defending just a little bit. They get shaky at times, but in saying that, England's we can't give too many props to England based on their back four, back five, whatever they're playing these days. Who knows?
Pretty average.
Yeah. So I hope Netherlands win on the right side of the draw, and I hope Spain win on the left side of the draw. And then we have two teams that have been able to score in open play, and hopefully there's a couple goals scored in the final. I love the final to be 2-2 going into extra time. If it goes to penalties, it goes to penalties, but I love like a 117th, 118th minute winner for one of the teams to win a 3-2. That'll be an awesome final. I love it. That's me personally. That's my prediction. I don't know what yourself. I know
Yeah,
you
look,
prefer Spain to win, that's for sure.
I'm going to go with Spain on that side of the draw, just based off what I've seen. They should, if they could bring the type of football that they've brought, throughout most of this tournament, and France bring what they bring. You'd think that Spain would be the better side. It's neck and neck. I mean, the odds, the bookies have it at $2.84 Spain, $3.20 for France, and $2.92 for the draw. At full time. So, it's pretty close. It is edged sort of towards Spain, and then I'm guessing that's based off, what we've seen thus far, and that's why I probably do have them as favourites. But as we know, it's anyone's game when there's that many quality players on the pitch. It takes one moment of brilliance to change the whole game, and there's players on both sides of the of each team that can create that brilliance and bring it out for their nation. So, look, I'll go with Spain on the other side. Look, Netherlands do deserve to be there. They've played some great football. I will say, in that goal that was given, the second goal that's seen them through. I don't know. I've gone back and watched that numerous times. When I watched the replay, I didn't get up and watch the game live, but I watched the replay. And then, they had that so many times, and they showed a few different angles for it, especially on the coverage on Optus Sport, and they even slowed it down. And every time I watched it, and I went back and, you can quickly go back 10 seconds or whatever, and then just rewatch that bit again. I watched it 5-6 times over, Dom, and every time there's one angle there where the guy Gakpo clearly comes through and kicks the other player's foot. The other player's foot proceeds to hit the ball, and the ball then goes in for an own goal. Now, even with VAR, nothing has been done about that. And I still don't know how it was not a foul. So, Turkish fans out there, you should feel hard done by, because you probably should have, you might not have won the game in the end, but you should have at least been able to, at that point, maybe have the opportunity to go on and get the winner, or maybe go extra time. You never know what could have happened, right? But that shouldn't have been the winner. Should have been a foul against Gakpo, if you ask me. And Netherlands a little bit lucky to be there, but they have played well at times. But I'll be honest with you, they're just not going to get past England. I think England is just going to find a way, even though how crap they've been playing. They're going to find a way to win this, and they're going to get through to the final. Because don't get me wrong, I think FIFA. It would be great for football in general, and in FIFA's eyes, if England did win the whole tournament, because it would create so much hype, and we know what the Poms are like, and it's coming home. They keep chanting, and yeah, look, they were big in the World. They want them in the lead up to the World Cup. Thinking that they fancy their chances and to break their World Cup drought, which has been over 60 years or whatever it is, right? So it would create absolute marketing galore for UEFA, for FIFA, and so on. So
the thing is, if they get there, they probably win it. Like, that's the scary thing. But you don't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just state the obvious source. Don't be surprised if you see France and England in the final. Don't be surprised. And don't be surprised if England do win it or France win it. And it's based on what Source mentioned before. The two teams out of the four left, Spain and Netherlands, have played the best football out of the four teams left. But as Source said, there's two talented players, one on either one of those France and England squads. The one for France is Mbappe that can win the game off his boot. The other one, we've already seen, Bellingham saved England twice in the death. Once to win the game in the group stages to get the 3 points, and once to send the game to extra time.
Look, I'll actually, in that matchup there, England at least have been able to score some goals from open play.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, they haven't played the greatest football.
If Bellingham scores a winner in this game, scores in the final and wins it, it's going to cement his legacy pretty early. Like, as one of the, as a clutch player coming up big in games when it counts. That's all that matters. People don't remember the 79 minutes before Mbappe did what he did in the World Cup final. They remember that period of play and they go, he dominated. He almost won the game. But if you're a football fan like us watching the final, you go, where the hell has this guy been for the whole game till he appears? You know what I mean? It's the same with Bellingham. He hasn't had amazing games. Some of them he was shocking. but he comes up big when it counts. The same with Madrid. He's had games like the Champions League final. He didn't do anything. So we spoke about it on the show. It's just like he didn't have one of his games. Like, but sometimes guys like that, he can come up big when it counts, and that's what you need: big time players and big time moments, and they win you tournaments. It's what happens.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So I think it's going to be England Spain final. Quick one for you, Doma, on IG. We've got Kobe Cards. He's asked any good soccer rookies you guys think. He's got
Yamal.
Hendrick. Yamal's he's a
he's a
no-brainer, if you
machine,
ask
bro.
me. He's an absolute beast. 16, 17, doing what he's doing at the Euros, showing it consistently in La Liga.
If you can
He's a
go back,
no-brainer.
if you can go back, some other rookies, like, they cost a bit now, but like Vinicius, if you want to back him in, and Bellingham, if you want to back him in. But the one that I'm assuming would be a little bit cheaper than those two, Saucy's mentioned on his show, Musiala doesn't get too much love. He plays in the Bundesliga. He's not in the limelight as much as Bellingham. I'll tell you the one guy you can throw his rookie cards in the bin, and everyone was talking about him as if he was the great white hope of rookies in soccer cards. Joao Felix, if you got his cards, you might as well burn him, because he could go down as the most overrated / biggest bust. I'm telling you, the guy's no good. Don't tell me, like, you know how many people said to Sauce and I he should be starting over Ronaldo? They win the Euros or they win the big games. Mate, the guy's trash. The guy's trash. Let's be honest. Sauce, come on. He's shocking. That's one guy I wouldn't bank in. But Musiala's a good one. He's a good one. Definitely have a look at him. He'd be a lot cheaper than obviously those Bellinghams. If you got Sancho cards, it's unfortunate for you. A lot of people banked in on those because Bellingham, Haaland, and Sancho, the holy trinity at Dortmund. Two of them panned out. One of them, unfortunately, is a no-go. But definitely look at Hendrick, as Saucy mentioned. Gula as well. Arda Gula.
Arda Gula is definitely going to be
for Turkey.
Gula.
He's at Madrid, so have a look at him. Hendrick's at Madrid. Gula's at Madrid. Vinicius at Madrid. Bellingham at Madrid. Rodrigo, look at some of Rodrigo rookie cards. Man, he's very underrated, Rodrigo, in my opinion. I reckon he's so important to that team, if not the most important.
You got to look. It's a tough game because once they do get that big move to that big team, the price hike in some of their cards is probably, I feel, a little bit unjustified in certain aspects. But then they go on and achieve great things and win titles and that, and then maybe it does become justified. But yeah, look, it's always that fine line of trying to find that guy before he gets that big move, because then there is that sort of the price jump that maybe you might be looking for, that that I like to be able to buy guys cards before that happens, sell them when that news happens, that sort of the price wise happens, sell a few, and then you get to keep whatever. Maybe you keep one or two autos yourself, or you keep a couple just in the collection, and you sell the other ones, and you're sort of into those cards for a very good price, than just a decent price that you might have got them. You're in them for nearly nothing, and you can ride his career, and it becomes a fun thing to have this card of this player, and you watch him over the next 5, 6, 7 years and see what he can do in his career. Because also, in that situation, you can buy those guys early and they don't pan out. There's been many that has even just come and gone in the last 3-4 years, Dom, when you think about it.
100%.
That guys that people have pumped money into. And
the flash of the pan one, some of them have been Felix, as I mentioned, Sancho. Dominated, went to United, struggled, back at Dortmund, played okay. Greenwood obviously had all the charges put up against him. He was another one that was massive. Rashford is still not a bad one, but a lot of people put all their eggs in Rashford, and he struggled. Who else is there?
There we go. Positive says 95% don't pan out. Yep.
The other one that's massive, Ansu Fati. That was a huge one.
Yes, huge, that was massive. Yes, one. That's a good one. Very a massive good, Doma. Good call. Good call.
Kept getting injured at Barca. Then when he played, didn't do much. Went to Brighton, struggled to even get a game. Zaniolo was another one, the Italian prospect.
Yes, Zaniolo.
He went to where'd he go?
Roma. He went to Roma.
No, he was at West Ham.
He was at Roma, and then he went to the Premier League. That's right. And then
he's back in Italy now. There's been a lot of them. So should be very. Makoko is another one. Like, He's not a
He's
bust.
still
He's still got a
young.
bit
He's
of
not
time.
done. He's not
Still
done.
got
He's
time,
getting more.
but-
He's got time, but not everyone can be once again, not everyone can be a Lamine Yamal doing that sort of stuff in the La Liga
Correct.
at the
Correct.
Euros at that age. Like when you look at what he's done and you go, would I buy that sort of hit cards or Makoko? And they're very similar age. I think Makoko might be a year older or whatever, but yeah, it's a no-brainer in certain situations. But once again, his cards are probably
positive. Yeah, you put this one up 95% don't pan out 100%. And thank you for the wishes as well. Positive in the same, Adam. Adam says a lot of people had a fatty for Fati. Are you saying, Dom? Yes, a lot of people did. And if you go back on record on this show, and I think on the Soccer Card Collective, a lot of people were talking about Fati, and it's recorded on this show, are saying time will tell with Fati, because I remember distinctly saying, what's he proven? He's proven to us that he's injured all the time. He's actually done nothing. I don't care that he's young and he's this superstar and he's so skillful and talented, but until you see it, and then all of a sudden he gets shipped off to Brighton, played a couple games in the Premier League. And I'll tell you what, if you do nothing in the Premier League and you get found out pretty quickly, Source, and he did nothing in the Prem and he got found out pretty quickly. So a lot of people jumped off the bandwagon. So yeah, proceed with caution. That's why sometimes, like as Saucy mentioned, just proceed with caution. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because this shit happens. Anyway, Saucy, you want to talk about the Mickey Mouse Club, or I don't want to talk about it. You can talk about it. Because if I talk about it, it's like a witch hunt for me. So I'm not going to speak about it. You can speak about it.
Hang on, let me see if I can find a little article here. Hang on, let me see. Where is it? Anyway, I can't find an article regardless, but I read somewhere that and it is actually fact that the Copa America, which is being played in the USA at the moment, the grounds are actually not full-size grounds. They're shortened grounds because the stadiums that they're playing in can't hold the right size pitches. It's not that they don't have the right size pitches because they've got the MLS over there. It's that they're not deciding to play in those MLS venues because they don't hold as many people in the stands.
The season's still going
stadiums.
as well, MLS.
And the season's still going. It hasn't stopped for the tournament. So the season's still going, the MLS season, which is complete greed, if you ask me, by the organizers to agree to play on smaller fields. Many have come out and complained, players, coaches, saying, this isn't good enough. Let me just tell you, if this is a sign of what America is going to produce for the 2026 World Cup, and they're going to choose smaller fields over the integrity of the game, we're fucked in this sport. Let me just tell you, it's then 1,000%. I mean, we already know what greedy pigs FIFA are. We already know that, right? This just proves the point. 100% fact. They're already doing it in the Copa America. That's why we called it the miniature mouse tournament over there, where they're playing on miniature football grounds. Some of them up to 5 meters shorter than a standard football pitch. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. And also, they don't even go to extra time, Domo. Just go straight to penalties. What the fuck is up with that? Why do they not pay extra time? I actually, you don't know what my opinion is on the extra time, Domo? I think extra time should only be 20 minutes. Should only be 10 minutes this way and 10 minutes that way. Because it's already a lot to ask the players to play that extra. But then also, taking into account, they are now allowing up to 5 substitutions. So technically, you can make 5 subs and half your team can be fresh, essentially. So there is that to weigh into it. But just bizarre situation. It's so weird. No extra time. I agree, positive. I think it's stupid as well. Even if you have, as I said, a 20-minute extra time, 10 that way, 10 that way, freaking hell. Even have a 16-minute extra time, 8 that way, 8 that way. Mate, do something, right? Even if you did 10 minutes, 5 that way, then do it. Something, right? There has to be some sort of extra time. You can't just go straight to penalties. That actually just reminds me of like when I've gone and watched Arsenal on a preseason tour. I went and watched them. They were in Singapore, and I flew to Singapore to watch Arsenal preseason tour. My sister was living there at the time, so it was beautiful. I didn't have to pay for accommodation, book the flight, head over there. You watch the game. Arsenal plays against, I think everyone was traveling, and then they played against like the Singaporean, like a all-star team out of the Singaporean league. Then it was a draw at full time and went straight to penalties, and they had a penalty shootout. So, I mean, that's what they do at exhibitions, preseason games, not in a proper tournament, of nations. Like, just ridiculous. But let's just hope, Doma, that they sort this shit out in America for the 2026 World Cup, or else they could ruin the greatest spectacle that there is on the planet.
I'm not going to talk about it. Saucy said his piece. I can't talk about this tournament because there's certain players that play in the tournament. If I say anything, it's like, oh, it's a witch hunt by Doma. No. You said it. I'm happy. Got nothing else to say.
And look, the quality. Look, let's not be honest. The quality of some of the nations in the tournament compared to the Euros it's apples and oranges, Dom. It's apples and oranges. But we'll move on. We've talked about the world game for 26 minutes. We've given you a bit of a rundown on what's going on, and
good luck to the 4 teams: Spain, England, France, and Netherlands. And Mbappe is going to win it. Anyway, let's move on. AFL. Let's get to round 17 because it was a banger. Friday night, the Bombers win by 12 points over the Pies. Well.
Come on.
Well.
Yes.
Wow.
I thought, I don't know whether we were going to fall away or whatever it is.
We showed some resilience.
We were down early, Dom. I thought, oh no, here we go.
I turned the game off.
We were down by 5 goals. Dom, I thought we'd folded, and then all of a sudden the Bombers came back. We showed some fight. I've got to give props where props is due. Dylan Shield was one of our best players on the night. He was absolutely phenomenal.
Wow.
He can play in that manner. I think he had the most tackles out of any player on the field, or on our side at least. I know that for a fact. I think he notched up 9 tackles or 10 tackles. He was phenomenal. He went at 76% disposal efficiency, which is very, very good, especially for Dylan Shield. Look, got a bit of belief. Magda says, flag Don's believe source. Believe. You know what?
I just want to win a final, Magda.
I just want to win a final. But we actually are in the race to finish in the top 4, Dom. I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it that I'm saying this. 16 games played on the season, and we have a potential to finish in the top 4. Obviously, there's still 7 games remaining, so there's a bit to play out until that point. But
mate, if you've got Dylan Shield back in your good books, mate, bring Jimmy Stewart back to the Dons for Saucy.
No, please.
If you go back a couple of years and you listen to some of those old double coverage podcasts, Saucy just cracking the absolute sads over it. It's so funny. Anyway.
No. Look, he was good, Shields. And look, credit goes a little bit, has to obviously go to certain players that have stepped up this year and made us where we are. I mean, we know Zach Merritt, what a phenomenal player he is. He might actually have a chance to win the Brownlow. He dominated on the weekend, would get 3 votes for sure.
Yes.
And he might actually have a chance to win the Brownlow. And if Heaney's knocked out, there's only really Cripps, Bontempelli, and one other person in front of him. I think there's one other person in front of him.
Maybe Dacos, I don't know.
Yes, that's it. That's what I think who it was. So, he's in the top 4 in terms of the bookies odds to win the Brownlow. So we'll see if he can pull it off. But yeah, look,
unbelievable.
Bit of belief. Always good to beat the Pies. The Pies came back, run that, which we know they're always going to do. When we were up by 30 points at one point, they came roaring back. We held them off well, and it was a good win in the end. It was a great win.
North and Essendon were rivals, and we had a history. It hasn't been. We've always had good games.
The marshmallow game.
No, we were rivals back in the 90s, early 2000s. We are rivals, and I don't really like Essendon too much, but I'm happy for you as a mate. But
what's up with that? A lot of North Melbourne fans hate Essendon.
We hate Essendon. No, we hate Essendon. I absolutely hate
other North, he goes respectfully. He always says this respectfully. He goes respectfully. I love you, bro, but I hate Essendon.
No, I hate
Essendon.
them. I actually hate them. I hate them with a passion.
And he
I'm
goes
happy
for
for
North.
you. I'm happy for you because you're my mate. But I am going to sit here, Sauce, and I'm going to say one thing as a North Melbourne supporter. To everyone out there that gave shit to Brad Scott, why aren't you talking now? All right, I sat here on that show and he coached North Melbourne. He's a shit coach. Mate, you all have recency bias, mate. You got short-term memory loss. He took the North Melbourne team that I kept saying on this show to 2 preliminary finals, mate. Prelims. That's the game, ladies and gentlemen, that you play before you make the grand final. Yeah, the team wasn't good enough. All right? Don't talk shit on Brad Scott. He's better than Chris Scott. I don't care what Chris Scott inherited the Rolls Royce, mate, in the early days.
He did.
All right. Credit to him in the last flag that he won against the Swans. Yes, I give him credit there. But Brad Scott is a ripper coach. And I was actually a bit shattered that he went to Essendon because in the back of my mind, as much as I dislike Essendon, I'm like, this guy's going to make them good. And I don't want them to be good. But Brad Scott's actually going to make them good, and it's going to take time. And it did take time, and look where you've got to. And moving on to the next game, the same is to be said about North Melbourne. Alistair Clarkson came in, they said, oh, you got the Messiah, you guys are shit, blah, blah, blah. Mate, he had all these allegations against him. He stepped away from the game. He came back, coached half a season, this, that. And as Saucy said, and props to Sauce, I was losing a bit of, I had a bit of doubt and losing some belief. And he just said, mate, you've got Clarko back. He's going to coach you for a full year, and you're going to turn it around at the midway point of the season. Your second half of the season, you'll be very good. So we've won 2 games, lost one by a point, lost one by 3 points, and lost one by 17 points.
I called it. I literally said, Dom,
Our average margin of loss was, I think, 66 point something points in the first half of the season. Now it's 13 points, the average loss margin. And I think we're first in, first in disposal efficiency and second in tackles or defensive rating or something. We've turned the season around completely. We're playing a great brand of football, and in a close game that we beat the Suns by 4 points, maybe in the first half of the season, this close game, we would have bottled it. We would have lost this game.
They challenged you, and they came back, and there were those situations where you were losing those type of games. So, look, you deserve to win. You deserve to win. Gold Coast. I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen Damien Hardwick's comments after the game.
There's Magda said he dropped the F-bomb.
Absolutely filthy. Absolutely filthy. And look, it's obviously not discrediting North Melbourne and their ability to win that game. But what he's saying is, if you want to be a serious football club that's going to contend up near the top of the ladder, these are the type of games that you come, you're not going to, don't expect here to come and obviously beat them by 40 plus points because they've turned their season around, but you've got to come here and get the win. Whether it's you win by 1 point or you win by 10 points or 1 goal, whatever, you got to get the win, so Gold Coast still has a lot to learn. As an interstate club, these are the type of games that, as an interstate club, really to win a grand final, you ideally want to be finishing in the top 4, so you get the home final and so on. And to do that, you need to come to Melbourne and travel places against the lesser sides and take the wins away and take them back home and bank them up on top of their home wins. Because if you look at just their home record, Dom, this season, they have the best home record out of anyone in this whole league.
They haven't won a game. They haven't won a game away from home.
Right? Their home record is unbelievable, Gold Coast. But their away record is putrid.
Yeah. It has been shocking. I'm glad we won. It's 2 wins. I don't want to finish bottom. Like I said, I don't want to finish bottom. Is there scope to win maybe 4 games, 3 games? Who knows? We'll see what happens, mate. We got the Swans this week. They're on the ropes, Sauce. Heaney's out, isn't he? Mate, they're on the ropes.
I think they were contesting it.
Next game up, Port Adelaide defeated the Bulldogs by 48. They just came out, put on a clinic, dominated this one. The Cats win by 51 against the Hawks at GMHBA. Their win streak comes to an end. Then the Giants get the big win against the Blue Baggers. The Giants finally pulled something off and win it by 12 points. They were. They
They
just
were
kept
due.
losing, but, they're back in it. A lot of people said, Carlton are celebrating something too early. Yeah, it's true. They haven't won the flag yet. They got to calm down a little bit. But I still think them and Sydney are the two best teams. Like, that's it in the comp. Fremantle had the bye. They played Richmond. They win that by 51. Melbourne
Because you
defeat
see
West
the Tigs
Coast.
down the bottom of the ladder, right at the bottom.
Oh, that's great too.
Remember I said at the start of the year, Tigers bottom 4 lock. Bottom 4 lock. I told you all
You
at
did
the
say that.
start of the
You
year.
did say that.
I
You
literally
did.
said it numerous times.
Yeah. And I also said that Fremantle was going to finish last. So see how well that's gone for me. The D's defeat the Eagles by 54 points. That game was the end of Adam Simpson. He was sacked this afternoon, so he's done. There was a few interesting things that were coming up prior to this game about a text chain that came up between the players about Simpson, and they were saying some stuff about him. And yeah, very interesting. Anyway, they got done on the weekend, on Sunday. On Sunday. Today's Tuesday, and he's out. He's done. So the most surprising one is St Kilda beat Sydney by 2 points. They've won their last 2 games. Oh.
They should have never really won this game. Sydney fumbled the
kicked.
ball.
They kicked. How many behinds did they kick in
kicked
there?
that many behinds. I mean, they were also up by 30 points. You expect them to be able to finish this game off. Credit to St Kilda. They didn't give up. They came roaring back. I don't know what this really proves to Saints fans. I mean, you've got players there that can win games and you can beat the best sides, but you can't put, how many times have they actually scored 84 points this season? I mean, they struggle to put scores on the board at times. They play this, ugly brand of football that's, if you ask me, you're never going to win a flag playing that brand of football. Look, I don't know. What does it say? I'm sure Saints fans were ecstatic with the win, as they should be, but it's a lost season because you guys aren't making top 8. You're 14, 12 points behind. You can technically, but you need teams above you to drop a lot of games, right? Look, Sydney. You don't say worrying signs because, always the best sides, obviously they dropped some games. They were still very good in that game. They just, for some reason or another, they just didn't close it out. I mean, they missed a lot of chances. Papley had some chances in that second half and he was like spraying them everywhere. Like he was, shots, absolutely missing the lot.
Massive breeze down at Marvel.
Yeah, I know. It was a shambles.
So, and then the last game, the Lions get the job done against Adelaide by 11 points. I'm telling you, there is hope, Source. Not hope. Well, there's hope for Brisbane supporters, but there is a possibility we could still get that Carlton-Brisbane grand final that we predicted in the preseason. It's not off the cards. Not off the cards. Adam says, you reckon Simpson might go to North to help out Clarko? I don't know. I leave Clarko to his own devices, mate. He can do whatever he wants. We always knew it was going to be a process there, and it's starting to work. And he's got his people in. He does what he has to do. Yeah. Let's just not make any rash decisions. Let's get to this week's game, Source. And I tell you what, there is some big games that are going to define the ladder structure after this round. I'm telling you. The Pies in 9th playing the 5th-placed Cats Friday night.
Massive. Is Patrick Dangerfield injured? He got subbed out early.
Oh, did he?
Did I read?
I know Took Miller injured. He's out for 4 weeks, I think. Took Miller or 3 weeks. So big injury there. I'm not sure. This one's at the G. Pies are $2.11. The Cats are $1.73. Gamble responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
He's not injured, I don't think.
Who you going?
I'm going to go Cats.
Ooh, this is an interesting one. I'm going to go Cats as well. Hawks versus Fremantle. It's in Tassie.
Oof. This will be a good game. I'm going to go the Hawks.
I'm also going the Hawks. I'm going to keep backing them. I know they lost against the Cats, but Swans versus the Kangas. SCG.
Swans.
Yeah, Swans are going to bounce back. I'm going to go the Swans. Obviously, I want us to win, clearly. Marvel Stadium, Dogs versus Blues.
I'll go the Blues, but you know what? They don't play their best footy on Marvel, and Doggies, obviously, that's their home ground. They like it better down there. They need to bounce back. They have the team in there to do it. They've got a lot of guys back from injury, but I'm going to go edge the Blues.
I'm going the Dogs because the Dogs are so unpredictable. They'll just rip
They
out
are
something.
unpredictable. They are.
Positive says I need some tips trying to crack the top 200 in Australia. Lovely. Adam says Dangerfield has the scared shitless syndrome.
I don't think so. It's pretty tough.
Everyone hates
I don't know
Dangerfield.
why they hate him.
I don't know why. Adelaide versus St Kilda.
I will say, and I'll go on record, in the first grand final that they made, he was absolutely nowhere to be found, but he redeemed himself.
He dominated.
In the one that they won. So he
didn't have
went
Isaac
back,
Smith.
looked back in the mirror and realized, through the rest of that
outside of whatchamacallit, Isaac Smith in that grand final, he was the
he killed it.
Yeah. That's the tips. Adelaide versus St Kilda.
Adelaide. It's Adelaide Oval.
I'm going Adelaide as well. D's versus Bombers at the G.
I'm going to go Essendon.
I'm actually going to go the Dons as well. Suns versus Port Adelaide. Now, keep in mind, Source, this is getting played. It's a Gold Coast home game, so
People First Stadium, Gold Coast. I'm going to go pick Gold Coast.
I'm going Gold Coast as well. Richmond Giants at the G.
Giants.
Well, Richmond beat them earlier in the year.
Yep, payback.
No, I'm going Giants as well. And the last game, which is interesting because, you sack a coach and usually what happens is you win. It's West Coast.
Response, I know.
It's West Coast versus Brisbane at Optus.
I'm gonna back Brisbane, but
I'm going West Coast. I'm going West Coast. We've seen this story that many times.
I know, so many times.
All right, I'm just gonna go with it this time. All the time you see it and you go, where's this been the whole season? Then next week in round 19, West Coast will lose by 100 points. They just come out, prove a point. They're like, we can still play footy for 1 week and 1 week only. That's it. Then they just get blasted, sent to another dimension in round 19.
They're in Cancun already, mate. They're in Cancun.
Yeah, they're in Cancun. What's Cancun here? Noosa. They're in Noosa. They've already checked out. Byron Bay. They're done. The ladder at the moment, I'll bring it up. There's a few teams that are checked out. Here it is. Unbelievable. There we go. Swans first, Blues second, Freo third, Dons are fourth, Cats in fifth, Port sixth, Brisbane seventh. Brisbane can finish top four, Source.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at that before.
It's unbelievable.
A run of wins here, they could still finish in the top four.
We were talking about Brisbane at the start of the year, like not making finals because of the Vegas trip. But look at the Pies. They might not make the 8. They lose to Geelong. Like, they just go behind again by a game, potentially. And if Melbourne wins, they're going to beat you. I don't think that's going to happen. You guys are going to lose to them. They stink. But interesting. There's a lot happening. There is a lot happening, Source. There's the top 8. The teams on the fringe. Hawks on 32, Gold Coast 32, Dogs on 32, D's and Collingwood on 36. So, very interesting. All right, let's move on, Saucy, to the F1s. I don't know if you caught this race, ladies and gentlemen, but it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Hey, F1's getting exciting. It is getting to the point where it's must tune in TV nearly every race.
You have to.
It's not a procession like it
Max
was
is going to win
in the season.
Max is going to win, Source. He's up by 83 points. He's not going to lose from here. But it's because he had that cracker first half of the season. If he didn't have that, he'd be in a lot of trouble.
Neck. Yeah.
He'd be neck and neck. But these races are absolute cracker at the moment. So we had the top 3. It was Russell, Hamilton, Norris, the English, at the British Grand Prix, had the front row. It was unbelievable. Rain came in lap 18. It was just light rain, and then heavier rain came, and it rained for about 20 minutes of the race. So anyway, there was overtakes galore. Lando Norris was leading for
Great
a fair
track,
chunk of
Silverstone.
this. Oh, so good. But Lewis Hamilton comes out on top when it's all said and done. He wins by 1.4 seconds. He just held on. He had enough. Max Verstappen put the hard tires on, and he was flying at the end. He caught Norris. Norris was in front of him, so he caught him. If he had 3 more laps, he probably wins this race. But you can't bank on extra laps. You got to deal with what you got. And Lewis Hamilton held off. He preserved those soft tires, and he breaks a record, Source. Lewis Hamilton. It's his 102nd race win in Formula One. He hasn't won in 56 races.
Oof.
So 2021. 2021 was the last time he won a race. But he breaks a record. He was tied with Michael Schumacher, 8 apiece. I don't know what the track is for Michael Schumacher, but winning 8 times at Silverstone, Lewis Hamilton had. And winning that, he breaks a record. He's got the most wins ever at one track, 9 now at Silverstone. Unbelievable. Honestly, I couldn't help but feel happy for him, to be honest, watching this. Oh, no, I think I've softened Sauce because he's coming to Ferrari, so I got to like the guy.
What's going on here? You were the biggest.
I used to love him. You do know that. I told the story on the show. I used to love him, and then he lost the plot a bit, and he tried to make everything about politics and bringing politics into the sport. That's why I jumped off of him.
We don't like on this show.
Yeah, which we don't like. But I used to love him. I actually did. And I've told the story. You can find it somewhere and off the grid, hidden in the archive somewhere. But I had a soft spot for him, mate. He was crying. He was elated to win the race. And I was like, it's actually a nice moment, sharing it with the home crowd in your country, with your father, not winning for 56 races. You can see how much it meant to him. Like, obviously, one of the best ever to do it. And you can see the struggles, the trials and tribulations. And he's struggled with this shit car the whole year. That was shit at the start. And he's happened to turn it around a bit. And he podiumed in the last race in the Austrian Grand Prix, I'm pretty sure. Let me just check that. Fact check myself. Oh, no, he finished 4th in that one. Spanish Grand Prix, he finished 3rd. Canadian Grand Prix, he finished 4th. So he's had a string of great races, and he's put it all together. They made some great moves, and they get the job done, Mercedes, with Lewis Hamilton. They finished 1st. And, yeah, like I said, I was actually happy for him.
And
I can't believe
it. Lando and McLaren, what happened there?
They should have put the medium tyres on instead of the softs. If they put the mediums, Hamilton's softs would have started to wear out. The mediums obviously have that last longer, so they would have, by the time they heated up, they would have just been ripping time off of Lewis Hamilton. Because before Norris got caught by Verstappen, he was only about 2 seconds behind Hamilton. But then the degradation on the tires, he started getting slower and slower. And the hard tires, the more laps you go, the better they become. And that's why his tires went shit. Verstappen's tires started to get nice and warm. And he blitzed him. He ends up beating him by 7.5 seconds. And he overtook him with, I think, 5 laps left, 6 laps left. So he was just eating at the time. So, yeah. Good win by Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen in 2nd, Norris in 3rd, Piastri in 4th. Drove his heart out. Did really well. Daniel Ricciardo finished in 13th. George Russell had to retire from the race. He didn't even finish, so he started on pole, didn't finish. Sergio Perez, good to know for Red Bull fans, he finished 17th. And where's my boy? Leclerc finished 14th. This is a Ferrari and a Red Bull, ladies and gentlemen, in 14th and 17th. Now, I didn't tell you this, Source, because I wanted to tell you live on the show what happened with Leclerc and Ferrari. You just need to hear this to believe it. They put the intermediate tires on his car before it was even raining properly. Everyone else was on mediums, and They put the intermediates, and he got lapped. Got lapped. He got lapped. The reason he caught up time is because when it started raining, then it started getting grip on his tires. So he took out about 25, 30 seconds when everyone started coming into the pits. But they put his tires on so early that he got lapped.
A bunch of look. Let's just hope that Ferrari is going to fix this sort of clown behavior before Hamilton goes there next year. Because if
what are you
this
talking
is
about? Hey, Sainz is the number one driver at the moment. The second driver over there, Ferrari, is Leclerc. And, well, he's going to still be second next year when Hamilton comes. They're not putting a cent into his car. Are you kidding me? They're not going to put 1 cent into this guy's car. It's all going in Hamilton. He's the better driver, clearly. Yeah. That's pretty obvious. It's pretty damn obvious. Like, yeah. Anyway, just a fun fact anyway for ladies and gentlemen that are listening to this that says F1 is boring. Just shout out to Martin Brundle and the crew at Sky Sports that mentioned that Lewis Hamilton 3 years ago or 4 years ago had his historic win at Silverstone when he won the race by 65 seconds. So just put that into context, all right? You kept saying it's boring the last 2 years because Max is winning. But as Source keeps saying, you came in a bit later because you watched Drive to Survive. But when we were watching it and he's winning every race by 60 seconds, 50 seconds, it was boring as that shit. All right? Boring. That's what it was. So anyway, his historic winning 64 seconds was actually not great for the sport at all when that was happening. So, yeah, just a shout out to them for bringing that up. Hungarian Grand Prix. We'll preview that next week because there's no race this week. All right, Source, over to you for some UFC.
Yes, so UFC, obviously there was no card over the weekend, but there is a card coming up this week. I'll just bring it up so it's much easier for people to see. UFC Fight Night, Namajunas versus Cortez. This will be a banger. Main card kicks off from 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Check out your local guides for the time that it begins for yourself. The co-main event, welterweight Santiago Ponzinibbio against Muslim Sathkikov. Then your lightweight, Drew Dober against Juan Silva. Welterweight, you got Gabriel Bonfim against Angie Lusa. Then you have featherweight, Julian Erosa, Christian Rodriguez. Middleweight, Abdul Razak Al Hassan against Cody Brandag. Women's flyweight, Yasmin. That's give that a shot.
It's Yuzda Vicious,
right, against Fatima Klein, and then flyweight you got Joshua Van against Charles Johansson or Johnson, we should say Johnson. And I'm not gonna read the rest, but I'll tell you what, it's looks not a bad card for a fight night. Kicks off. It says main card kicks off from 12 p.m.
It's gonna be good to see Namajunas back.
Yeah, it will be good to see Namajunas back.
Thug Rose.
Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Another notable one. I'm not sure if he's caught. Nate Diaz got the win over Jorge Masvidal in their boxing match. It was a complete, absolute joke. If you go have a look at there's no way the judges scored it 8 rounds to 2 to Nate Diaz. That is a complete farce. There's no way he won 8 rounds to 2. Like, maybe he might have won. I'm not disputing he might have won, but to score
it 8 rounds. Was it just shit?
It was not good. It was not good.
Well, he said his next thing is he's going to knock out Jake Paul. Nate Diaz said, and then after that he said he wants to fight a ranked boxer. Like a contender, ranked contending boxer. So based on what you saw, if you think he can come up against a ranked contending boxer,
I don't think so.
I don't even think he'll beat Jake Paul.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Anyway, it's a sham. Yeah, I love it. It's all about the dollar. That's what it's about, mate. It just gives a shit. It's just rubbish. That's it for UFC. Hobby Talk Source. What can I say, mate? 2 mil of Mantles stolen. Must have been Juanito. He's back. He's popped up at the Dallas Card Show or whatever the hell this. Where's Juanito? There he is. We found him. So Yeah, he just put a
Oh,
mask
hang on.
on.
We
He just-
don't have his face on here. Damn it! I was going to bring it up.
No.
I was going to bring it up. It's not on here. But yeah, look, pretty crazy, Doma. Pretty crazy story. I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen the footage. Dallas Card Show. You had the guy setting up, and then there was another guy sort of distracting him while he was getting distracted. This guy who was pretending to stack chairs like he was part of the show. He was packing up the show. I think it might have been towards the end of the show, or if it was at the beginning. I think it might have been towards the end. I stand to be corrected. But nonetheless, he's got distracted, and this guy has grabbed a whole case of cards that had $2 million worth of cards in there. Mickey Mantles, a bunch of old baseball vintage cards, predominantly. And yeah, it's just really, really slime act, if you ask me. I mean, these people, as much as they want to say they might be able to find, these person their cards if they're trying to move them on. If any of these people who have half a brain and a little bit of money, you definitely just go crack all those out of the slabs and go put new serials on them. And Bob's your uncle, Jane's your auntie. PSA is not going to know any better, and no one else is going to know any better. And just start sending them to Probstein auctions on eBay or one of the other ones. And PWCC, no better. They wouldn't give a fuck, and they'll sell the card. They just want their commission. And these people have now made a shit ton of money, unless they get caught, with face recognition and through authorities and things like that. But if the footage, what they showed is all they've got, geez, it's going to be fucking tough to catch them, because you can't really see who they are. You can see they're white. That's about it. That's about it. You can see their skin complexion.
Magda said, I'll pick up the Tyson Beck order at the card fair if you guys are going. Yep. And he goes, who the F steals cards? Well,
I mean, it's happened here at the Melbourne Card Fair, right? So
happened to the Oracle, mate, at the one at Darabin.
There you go. Thank you. Happened to a friend of
cards.
ours. Someone, a whole box of Pokemon's cards got stolen on him. So, you just got to be wary. And that's why we tell you guys, don't overextend yourself with what you bring to card shows. Make sure you got proper things to lock your cards up. I'll put this out there to anyone that wants to set up a card show. They don't have a proper case to put their, glass case to put their most valuable cards under. Let me know. I have spare ones. I have one that if I'm not using it, I'm more than happy to let you use it for the day, right? Because you should never go to a card show and just put all your cards out on the table. Maybe you might have stuff in the boxes that's $50 and less, but anything that's $100 or more, I feel like should even be behind, some sort of glass or protection. And then obviously, if you've got any cards that are worth more than that, and people in the realms of $500 cards, $1,000 cards, $1,500 cards, $5,000 cards, they should definitely be behind a glass, case that people can't sort of touch. Then you can even lock it if need be. But yeah, it's sad to see that, this sort of stuff is still happening in the hobby. But yeah, it's there. And when people see opportunity, I think in any walk of life, Doma, there are some people that are game enough to sort of,
they're ballsy, man. Some people have no fear.
And go for it. Yeah, right.
That's what they love doing.
We're not saying that we would do it in that case, obviously. But
like you said, it happens at the Melbourne Card Fair, and that's why security was beefed up and stuff like that, mate. The whole tactic, my kid's looking through the singles. Next second, while they're looking through, distracting, bang, gone. This is getting taken. That's getting taken. But like Saucy said, if you need a cabinet and you want to store some cards on the day in your thing, and you got them priced, come over and we'll chuck them in there, mate. Like, you just got to be willing to understand that you got to tell us what's the wiggle room, what's the lowest you go, what's the highest you'll go. Well, the highest is anything above the sticker price. What's the lowest you're going to go? And that's it. We're happy to sell it for you. But, if you're really struggling for something, if you're worried it's a bit of a high-end card and you might get stolen, don't worry, double coverage. We're always here to help, mate. But if you do find these people at shows and you see something happen, definitely have to report it, mate. Get to security as quick as you possibly can.
Yeah, report it to the organizer of the show.
I wouldn't advise tackling these people to the floor or touching them or handling them, or because these people, I know they're stealing cards, but unfortunately the way the legal system's set up, they'll just say that you assaulted them. So you got to be a bit careful. But if you can try and block them off and
I mean, in a place like Dallas, it won't be a tackle, mate. Everyone carries guns around there, right?
Yeah, bloody. Yeah. James says, I've got a couple of Ricardo Peppers I need, so you don't need them sold, mate. We'll put them in the kids' packs. Yeah, just donate them.
I call up Sack Cards. He was collecting Ricardo Pepe, wasn't he?
We called him up, but we're blocked, so.
Oh, what a lemon. What a lemon.
He's a peanut. That guy's an idiot. Actual idiot. Yeah, it's not great. Hopefully they get found. I saw something, there's $75,000 reward.
Yeah.
For whoever can find the person that stole the cards. So hopefully for the person it gets sorted.
But yeah, $2 million worth of vintage baseball cards. Predominantly it was. So pretty nuts. And yeah, I don't know. A situation like that, as much as you want to bring as many of those sort of cards to that card show, I'm surprised this stuff like this hasn't happened more often. You know, especially the boom that's happened, obviously in the last 3 years and so on. You know, why it hasn't happened at even like national. We haven't heard of things of national.
Yeah,
shit like
but you can understand. You can understand why at the national they have those vaults that all the cards go into.
Correct. That are bolted to the ground.
That all makes sense now. You know, like, well, not all makes it does make sense because there's a lot of high end shit there. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know if Dallas has got that capability. I'm not going to say it does. So, yeah. Hello, Nick. How are you? Great, man. Anyway, I've got one last thing before Saucy gets to rip something. Just we love Leaf on this show now. Don't worry. We always did love Leaf, to be honest, because it's just cheaper autos. But this one, I can't wait to review this checklist when it comes out. Leaf Electra Multisport. Here you go. We'll just show you a bit of a preview. This is a dual auto, Messi and Palais. Source and time whether people that stole the cards collectors or not. They would have sold it for one purpose and one purpose only, Magda, and that's to make money off of it. Whether they're a collector or not. You're not stealing the cards to put in my collection. They're just out there to just sell them, so just keep your eye out on eBay. He's a Conor McGregor auto, Margot Robbie auto. Bit interesting. He's a quintuple auto here. Miguel Cabrera, David Ortiz, Fred McGriff, Mark McGuire, and Frank Thomas. Anyway, this is 3 cards per pack, 1 pack per box, 10 boxes per case, and they're TBA on the release date, 3 autos per box, Saucy. So that's just one for me, and I'll throw it to you.
All right. Doma, the last thing to end the show, hobby talk. Obviously, it's your birthday, so we'll do a birthday rip. I found this box sitting there, so might as well just open it up.
No, I want to be big. What are we looking for? We need Grift Wilson back, says Magda. Don't worry, you messaged me today for my birthday, Grifty.
Well, we're looking for Anthony Edwards. Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton, LaMelo Ball. They're the best players in this. Let's see what we can get.
Grifty also sent me a gif of Wally. He said, happy birthday, have a great day. And he sent me a Wally gif.
Wally gift?
Yeah.
All right.
If you know what the Wally gif is, it is Where's Juanito. That's the
Where's
reference.
Juanito? All right. Toma, I'm not even going to. I'm literally going to.
I want you to scream. Well, last time you opened.
Great start. Green Nick Richards. So great start.
There's
great
a hit.
Start.
Finished. Last time you opened this, you hit a Chris Bosh napkin.
Yeah, I did hit a Chris Bosh patch. I did. Oh. What we got?
You're full of shit. Get out of here. Yeah, it's nothing.
I think I got an auto.
No, you didn't.
First and foremost, there's a Tyrese Halliburton base card.
Yeah.
There's a instant impact Patrick Williams. And I did get an auto.
More
But
like no
unfortunately,
impact.
Unfortunately, it's the wrong Hornets player. We needed LaMelo, and we've hit
Nick Richards.
You come on, man.
If that was a LaMelo auto, we
Would've
would have
lost
lost it. We would have lost the plot.
Well, we know nothing else as good is coming out of these packs.
Yeah, anyway.
Isaiah Bumbleclot Stewart, Blood Stewart. Remember when he went ape at the Lakers game? Lakers.
James said, "Is Nick Richards still in the NBA?"
I don't know. I don't think so.
So how much does this cost?
Nick Richards is actually good, very good rebounder. He's a good big.
Yeah, because that's why people buy products for rebounders.
Yeah, bro. What do you mean? That was the whole reason that Nick Claxton was getting hyped. He was the next great rebounder of the game.
Oh, I threw that card in the bin, that coaster. Oh, no, I didn't. Here it is. Here he is.
I didn't even show you what I got out of that pack because there was nothing even worth showing you guys.
That's the future of big men, according to everyone in the hobby. This guy.
And last pack. Hey, Doma.
What do we got?
At least we hit one.
Hey, Ant-Man.
Would have been good if it was a silver, but it's just a base. Just a
base.
base.
A Halley and an Ant-Man.
So there you go, Doma. There is some,
James said Nick Richards better than Aiden. He can't rebound or shoot. Yeah, Stewart tried to fight LeBron, said Magda. I love it.
That was great.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, Doma. There's your hit, mate. There's your Nick Richards. What an auto.
That's great.
Would have been great if it was a LaMelo. Jeez.
Probably put that as a coaster.
I would have definitely got more excited. I would have definitely got more excited than that.
Oh, not if you hit a LaMelo, you would have been celebrating if you hit that.
Well, if he can stay injury free, yeah, he would be good.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Anyway, on that note, ladies and gents, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. Keep living, loving, and breathing sport. It's double coverage. Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.